Hello, Radiant Soul. Welcome to the first episode of Soul Transmission, a mini podcast where I hope to share with you soul wisdom, channeled messages, and practical guidance for your mind, body, and soul. I'm Lorani, and thank you also for joining me back here on my channel, Radiant Light Holistic Wellness. I did take a break from this channel to focus on some career goals, some personal life goals, and also a few creative endeavors. Since taking this break, I am now happy to share that I'm also a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I'm also providing one-on-one sessions, providing Reiki healing, astrology natal chart readings, as well as intuitive tarot guidance. As I was thinking about how I wanted to formulate or structure this mini podcast, I really wanted to do something in co-creation with the universe. I thought about all of my favorite different modalities, such as tarot and astrology, as well as mental health and self-improvement practices that have helped me to hopefully provide you with a message that your mind, that your body, that your soul, and your heart might need to hear today. So for this first episode, I thought about channeling a message that we all may need to hear right now. So trust that when you do find this audio is when you're meant to hear it. And I used one of my favorite tools, which is tarot, to tap into the universe, to ask a question. What is it that we need to hear right now? So before I started recording, I pulled a card for us today, and the card I pulled was the Ten of Pentacles. If you're not familiar with tarot, the Ten of Pentacles is a card of abundance. It is a card of prosperity. It is a card of lineage, and often it's about family as well, but it can also be about community and networks. On the card, you'll see, traditional tarot, you'll see an older person, you'll see a couple, you'll see a child, you'll even see family pets like dogs. And in the background of this image, you'll see a castle or a beautiful home. And overlaid on the image, you'll see a cascade of 10 gold coins, which are the 10 of Pentacles. I included a little image of that card here on the video. And when one pulls this card, it is really an auspicious message. It is meant to reflect back prosperity and abundance, luck, perhaps even a financial windfall. So whenever this card does come out, it does signify a really positive aspect, especially about money and finances, but also security, how one feels about themselves, or how one feels about themselves in the world. I thought this was a beautiful card to pull for this first installment of Soul Transmission, perhaps to highlight, this message of prosperity and security, and abundance, but also I think that it's an interesting message because many are actually feeling quite the opposite right now. In today's collective, in today's environment, I think there's a lot of fear and scarcity mindset. There's a lot of instability in the economy and in employment. And many people are really feeling that. And I think all of that is valid. But the Ten of Pentacles in this case, I think, is a reminder to ask oneself, how am I feeling right now about all of these things going on in the world? Am I in fact feeling secure and abundant and prosperous? Or am I in a state of lack and scarcity? universal law states that the universe is abundant and that we can all tap into this beautiful, loving energy to make our dreams come true, to receive abundance and security. And also, universal law would say that whatever we think is what we achieve, is what we see around us. So, your thoughts create things. And that's not just universal law. I think that also delves into quantum physics and the law of attraction. So, just this one card, I think, can open up a lot of things for people, a lot of questions, noticing if there is an immediate sense of resistance with this card, like, oh, I'm not feeling that at the moment, or if it feels very validating of your experience. And if it's the former for you, if it is a feeling of resistance or doubt, I think the Ten of Pentacles is really inviting you to question your core beliefs, to question any limiting beliefs, any thoughts that are creating a lot of resistance in your life and perhaps even lack. And this is not an easy, it's not really an easy practice for many people at first because it can feel really self-judgmental. It can feel like you're doing something wrong, right? You're attracting something that isn't in your best interest. But in reality, it is a lot about energy. The energy that you put out is what you receive in return. And I believe that if you are feeling that way, doubt, insecurity, perhaps some instability, particularly around finances, yeah, and feeling, and instability, I'd say. One of the best and powerful practices that perhaps you can consider is a gratitude practice. Gratitude is a really powerful way to tap into all of the things that are working in your life, to highlight all of the things that are working in your favor, to look at life more through a glass is full mentality than a glass is empty mentality. If that's how it goes, that's how that saying goes. The glass is half full versus the glass is half empty. And I think scarcity mindset is just that. The glass is half empty. I don't have enough. But when the glass is half full, I think we can really focus on what is working, what is providing that sense of abundance. And a gratitude practice is a wonderful way to really get that energy moving and to shift a mindset from lack and into abundance. A gratitude practice doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very easy, actually, if you can remember and if you can maintain its consistency. And what that can look like, if you're unfamiliar to this practice, is to just look around. Well, in the mornings when you wake up, I think it's a great way to set the tone for the day. Think of 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for. It can be, your favorite pillow or your comfy bed. It can be a good night's sleep. It can be something that happened the day before that made you smile, that made you feel good. It could be your pet or people in your life that you love. And even, the everyday things that we take for granted, like our cars, they get us safely from point A to point B, or our computers. Using technology, gadgets, and all of that, they make our lives so much easier. So even being grateful to have access to technology and Wi-Fi, all the things that we really don't think about and take for granted. I mean, have you ever been stuck somewhere without Wi-Fi and you're like, I really need to communicate with someone? then you start to realize how much, these everyday things actually mean to us. So being grateful for the things that we have, the things that we use every day, can create just such a wonderful energy. And it can also be, it can open the path to more things to be grateful for. And in return, the universe sees that and gives you even more to be grateful for. So that's why gratitude practice is so important. Starting out with 3 to 5 things in the morning that you're grateful for, and maybe even 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for at night before bed. What a nice way to bookend your day with gratitude. Another powerful practice I found that really switches the energy of a lack mindset into a more abundant mindset is generosity and being altruistic. So, giving back, sharing with others, donating, anything that makes you feel like you have more than enough and you're willing and happy and able to give to others. I know that whenever I'm in this space and I, happily and freely donate to causes that I believe in, or help someone out in any way I can, I notice that every time things come back to me. If it's money, it'll come back to me like double or triple, or sometimes even more. And if it's, I'm donating my time or helping someone else out with a favor, yeah, in a few days or something, someone will surprise me with something, or I'll something lucky will happen. And I think that it's such a beautiful, I think, gift from the universe. It really does want to reward us for being generous and helpful. So part of this practice is really to give from the heart and to give from a place of abundance. I think the universe also sees whenever we are trying to quote unquote trick the system, and we, just give with the intention to receive. I think we still do receive in those cases, but the key here and the the secret to this practice really is to give when you're feeling really positive, when you're feeling really loving, when you feel really generous, and trust me, you'll see so much more in return. I heard this piece of advice somewhere, maybe I read it, but if you want to start practicing this, notice that when you go to the grocery store, often they'll ask you at the checkout, like, do you want to donate $1 or $2 to this cause or whatever? That is such a great way to start giving back, on a weekly basis, sometimes a daily basis if you're out there, shopping and buying things every day. Tipping is also so important. I know there's a big tipping, like there's been like a tipping controversy, for the past, I don't know, year or so, where people are outraged over tips. And I get that. I totally do. But honestly, giving back to the people that are making your coffee, people that are like washing your car and like serving you your food, I think it's just, gosh, I mean, everybody deserves to be thanked and to be rewarded for their hard work. So even if you're not tipping like the minimum or whatever they're suggesting you tip, anything is really just a show of gratitude. It is a show of generosity. It is a show of feeling nice and abundant. So those are two great ways to practice generosity. At the grocery store, if you feel like donating to a cause, it's so easy to do. Um, when you're out there, getting a coffee, etc., tipping people $1, whatever you have, is also such a beautiful way to practice um, this feeling of abundance. And the universe will provide. It is universal law. So back to the Ten of Pentacles, such a beautiful card, such a beautiful message, and also a great reminder to check in with ourselves, to focus on our thoughts, our beliefs, where we are as far as like, is the glass half full or is it half empty? What do we need to do to shift this mindset? If we are feeling like we're in lack, and how can we really attract this feeling of abundance, this feeling of having more than enough so that you can freely give back to others? Other things I want to say about this card, any pentacle cards in tarot represent earth energy, and that really is all about feeling grounded, feeling steady, right? Hard work. And in zodiac, that in astrology, it translates to the zodiac signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, the traditionally hard workers of the zodiac, the very grounded, earthy signs. So, in that sense, I also think that pentacles in tarot represent seeds. At least I see them, I see this suit that way. Seeds that you can plant, seeds that you can nurture and watch grow. You can watch these seeds provide fruit of your labor. Often with any pentacles, or just the suit in general, earthy energy, it tends to be a slow moving energy. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. So I think that's a really good reminder with these practices. If you start a gratitude practice tomorrow, um, try to be consistent. I like to say, like 5 days, 7 days, let that turn into 2 weeks, 21 days, so that it does become an everyday practice. And just like anything, like the momentum needs to build, the energy needs to build, and then it'll just come back to you. So it's a slow moving, grounded, very focused type of energy. And I'm talking about pentacles in general, and also the Ten of Pentacles being the culmination of that energy. In tarot, the suits go from the aces, which is the start of something, and then it ends at 10, which is the culmination of something. So again, this card um, is really just expressing the culmination of something. So I see it as perhaps a goal, something we can aspire to, something we can work toward if we're not feeling that right now. So I think this is today's message. And I also wanted to, I guess, wrap up this first episode with an affirmation, maybe something you can incorporate into your gratitude practice, or any sort of practice where you're trying to focus on abundance and prosperity. Affirmations are great to shift your mindset. They're great to reaffirm um, positive beliefs. And one of my favorite affirmations for abundance and prosperity is: abundance and prosperity flow into my life easily, effortlessly, and joyfully. So again, it's abundance and prosperity flow into my life easily, effortlessly, and joyfully. So I hope that's helpful for you. And yeah, you can write your affirmation down somewhere in a journal. You can just repeat it to yourself a few times, maybe after you focus on your gratitude list. And I hope this message serves you and that it reaches you whenever you need to hear it. So thank you again, if you made it this far, for joining me here on my first episode. I can't wait to come back and to share more soul transmissions with you. And until then, wishing you well, and talk to you next time. Bye.